Latin 2. Here we are, chapter 50. Nothing ever happens. Let's go over the glossary first. So we see on page 255, sol, solis. This means sun. We have a solar system. The sun is actually called sol. So there you go, solar, right? Next one, serenus aum. This means clear or bright. It's where we get serene from, or serenity. Avis, avis. This means bird. Okay, an aviary is a place where you would keep birds. Observo, observare, observavi, observatum. I think we've seen that before. To observe, to watch, to pay attention to, that kind of thing. Ad eo. Ad eo means so much or to such an extent. And we're going to see a lot of words like that. These are what I call degree words. They're almost always adverbs, but sometimes there's adjectives. Deditus aum means dedicated, devoted, given over to something. Obviously get dedicate, but it comes from do, dari, dedi. Nuper means recently. I got a new pair of shoes recently. That's how I always tend to remember it. Heus means hey there. Heus, guys. Id quod, we know that from chapter 12. That which, or a thing which. Curai esse. So it is to be a cause of anxiety, to be something of worrying. Okay? Then you go down to the verbs. Lucet, lucere, luxit. It will exist in the infinitive on occasion, but mostly this exists in the third person singular. It's where we get luke, lucent, translucent, stuff like that, elucidate. Taidet, taidere, taisum est. We actually saw this. Interestingly, book 1 introduces a lot of semi-deponent verbs for no good reason. But taidet is impersonal, so it bores an accusative of a genitive or to do an infinitive. That's how it works. And we saw it with sextus. That's why you hit Cornelia in the head with a ball. So me taidet solitudinis, it bores me of loneliness or of solitude. Neglego, neglegar, neglegere, neglexi, neglectum. This is to ignore. It means literally to not read. Because lego legera, right? And then oportet, oportere, oportuit, another impersonal. It means it is fitting. Use it as it is fitting. Don't say you ought. That's more debeo, debere. This exists only in the third. It is fitting to do an infinitive. It is fitting for a dative to do an infinitive. That's how it works. It can also set up an indirect statement though. It is fitting that an accusative does the infinitive. Okay? So there's a bunch of different ways it can be worked. Oh, and then they give it to you there. Festinare teo portet, right? And portet comes from portent, which is like you get a sign from the gods. So it tells you what's fitting. So it is fitting that you hurry. Gens, gentis, this can mean type, family, clan, tribe. It can mean all kinds of things. In this context, it probably means clan. And the Romans were very clanny, okay? Epulae, epularum. This is always in the feminine plural, and it means feast. Banquet, if you want to think of it in terms of like a whole bunch of dishes set out for everyone, but it's a feast. Let's see, similis is a will always take a dative of reference. You are similar to something. And then dissimilis is a is also, it's dissimilar, and it will also take a dative of reference. Juvenis, this means young man. There's a couple different words for young men because Rome was a patriarchy. It liked its young men. But you get the word juvenile from it. Submissus aum, this means quiet. This really is missus, which is to send, that which has been sent under. So you were sent under the realm of notice. You were quiet. You were subdued. Despondeo, despondere, despondi, desponsum. This is to betroth. You could say promise in marriage, but that's what betrothal is. And it's spondeo, spondere. Which is to promise a thing. So this is to promise about something, specifically about a marriage. Decet, decere, decuit. This is, it is becoming. I think that's the best way to put it. Again, another third person singular only. Another defective verb that is impersonal. Don't use fitting or should. Just say it is becoming. And then it is becoming that an accusative does an infinitive. It is becoming that, or for a dative to do an infinitive. Okay, so non decet patrem despondere filiam. It is not fitting that a father betroth his daughter. Okay, leave the should out of there. Then at the bottom, you see a bunch of words that you've already seen, but these are what I call the degree words, okay? And then it's kind of a large umbrella, but adeo, ita, seek, talisise, tam, tantusaum, tantum, and tot. All of these talk about amounts or degrees of some sort. So you need to know all of these words because they will really clue you into what's happening grammatically this chapter. And then I believe that's it as far as the grammar. So what I want you to do now, actually there's more grammar on page 264. Sponsalia, sponsalium, okay, this is a betrothal ceremony. This is the rehearsal dinner, essentially. Ad sponsalia is toward the betrothal ceremony, so this is a neuter plural, obviously, but for the betrothal, right? Pronuba, pronubai, this is the bride's attendant. This is someone who stands in for the nuba, for the bride. This is a married woman who will tell her what her duties are on the wedding night. Propinquus, propinqui, okay, this is a relative. It's prope, someone who is near you. Ait, this means he or she says. This is one of those ones that hardly ever occurs other than in the third person singular. Conversusaum, having turned, having been turned, okay? Annulus, annuli, that's little ring, okay? That's a small ring, like one that would go on your ring finger. Sinister, sinistra, sinistrum, this is your left, okay? Sinister. Opto, optare, optavi, optatum, this is fit, okay? Don't use to place, it's to be fit, or to fit rather, okay? So it fits. Okay, it's apt. Gratulor, gratulari, gratulatus sum. This will take a dative because you're offering congratulations to someone. Okay, and then you see demito, demitera, demisi, demisum. This means to lower, to send down. Don't say to let down, just say to lower. And then spondeo, spondere, spopondi, sponsus. This is to pledge. Okay, so de spondeo is to pledge in marriage. This is to pledge. That's all your vocab. What I want you to do now is read pages 262 to 263. All right? Okay, I'm going to hit the button.